Good evening and welcome to Meet the Candidates Night. The Carefree Truth Committee would like to thank Edwin Leslie, Mike O'Hearn, and Rhonda Heimricher of the Carefree Resort for hosting this event and for all they have provided, as well as Hope Ozer and Catherine Koenig from the City Sun-Times, who offered to be our media sponsor. We also thank our moderator and panelists, and our excellent field of candidates for the Carefree Town Council for being here tonight. I would like to thank my husband Herbert, who supplies the videos that accompany my Carefree Truth issue. This forum was originally his idea. There he is with the camera.
Yeah.
Our moderator, Tim Reilly, was born and raised in New York City. After college, he served as a commissioned officer in the Army. He returned to New York and became the executive director with Morgan Stanley. Tim and his wife, June, moved to Carefree in 2006. He serves on the board of directors of the Desert Forest Golf Club. June serves on the board of the Caring Corps and assists at the food bank. She was instrumental in resurrecting the gardens in downtown Carefree. Deborah Dieterman is the executive director of the Foothills Caring Corps and has worked with the FCC for 7 years, helping older adults remain independent. Her background is in health and human services. She holds a master's in social work and a master's in public health. Deborah has lived in Carefree for 13 years. She previously lived in North Carolina and Minnesota and worked in the health and human services area in both the private and public sectors. Deborah has 3 grown daughters and 1 son who live in Minnesota and Arizona. Robert and Linda Gabrick have been the owners of the popular restaurant Carefree Station for the past 10 years. That's all he gave me. But I was there for lunch. It's wonderful. Karen Smith Lovejoy is the president of the Sonoran Arts League and is on the executive committee. She is the developmental chair of the Foothills Community Foundation. She volunteers on the auction committee for the Phoenix Zoo, and she's the immediate past president of the Carefree Rolling Hills HOA. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, Tim.
I'd like to welcome everybody to this uncharacteristically chilly Arizona night, but thank you for showing up. The format is going to be very simple. I'm going to ask the first question. Each candidate will answer the question. They got a little bit of a head start because we've given them this one. So this is a freebie, and this is sort of their opening statement. Following that, each one of the panelists will ask a question. And the candidates have not seen this one, so it should be a little more interesting. There's a 1-minute limit on the response, and there's a 1 minute allocated to follow-up questions for any of the panelists or myself. So I'll start with my question, and I might as well start with the mayor, since he's partially responsible for where we are today. And my question is this. The town is in good fiscal shape, no debt, and a cash surplus. What are your plans to keep us on this path, and what are your priorities going forward? Mr. Mayor.
Thank you to the resort, Carefree Truth, City Sun-Times for arranging this forum. Most importantly, thank you to you citizens who have taken the time to come out tonight to learn about we who are candidates for your town council. It's very simple. My goals for the future are to keep Carefree carefree. General Plan 2030 gives us a good roadmap of how to move forward. Keep the residential areas mostly the way they are and improve the commercial areas. We need to keep our expenses reduced to income. We've been very successful for that. And we need to bring more and vibrant businesses to our town. We're bringing festivals, which will attract more people. We hope with more people in town, more businesses will come. So fundamentally, I've been mayor for 4 years. What you see is what you get. I intend to continue what we're doing into the future, only do it better. Thank you.
Okay, John Crane.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak and for pulling us all together. So I think the key to maintaining the financial success and strength of the town is through fiscal conservative management. What we need to do is spend our money wisely like we do today on core programs for the town, maintain a reserve in our budget on the order of about, say, 50%, not spend money needlessly, and make sure that our main lifeline of revenue, which is sales tax revenue, which supplies about 60% of the revenue to the town, maintains full, and our businesses do well, our restaurants do well. So that's the key.
John, your time's up.
Thank you.
Mike Farrar.
Again, I would like to thank the Carefree Resort, the City Sun-Times, and most importantly you, the citizens of our community. In short, the reason why we have no debt and a cash surplus is because we are a conservative community. We basically live within our means. Our duty as council is to maintain our fiduciary stewardship and conservative oversight of limited scarce town resources. I believe our council can best serve our community by opposing any efforts to a property tax and to exhaustively explore alternative funding mechanisms, whether they be grants, donations, public-private partnerships within our business community, as well as doing all we can as a governmental body to foster business development and prosperity with our local merchants while remaining devoted to preserving the lifestyle Carefree currently enjoys. I believe we have demonstrated our commitment to our local businesses and owners in balancing and understanding the needs of both with our gardens, our street lighting, and other key public work projects. I also support temporary relaxing permit fees for commercial projects, as I would rather have our town collect the much needed sales tax as opposed to the relatively small permit fees we receive.
Mike, your time is up.
Thank you.
Michael Gray.
I too would like to thank everyone this evening, as my other fellows up here have done. In my mind, the key to the future success of Carefree is very simple. How will we manage that future? How do we manage that future? All the building blocks are in place, as the mayor stated. Stability financially, wonderful things happening. How will we build our future? And I submit to you tonight that that is mission critical in my mind, that that's what we have to work on. And so my pledge to you, the people of Carefree, is to work diligently on the creation of that plan and to make that visible to people so that everyone can participate, see this plan, and watch it come to fruition. We have far too many empty stores. Every merchant I've talked to is concerned about what the future will hold for them and for other people. And so the way to do this is to have a plan. And I do have a way to build a plan. When you look at my resume, you will see that that's my background, and that's exactly how I intend to serve this great town of Carefree. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Glenn Miller.
How's everybody doing? Thanks for coming out tonight. As of the last council meeting, we had over $5.3 million in general funds and reserves, and over that, $4.8 million plus is in unrestricted funds. Now, it wasn't just this council that got to that point where we have no debt, but it's our past councils that have taught us how to get to this point. And it's all through very careful, conservative planning and values. When it comes to doing capital projects, we pick the town's needs and prioritize the projects, and then we save for a project. Basically, our philosophy is pay as we go. So I think if we keep this philosophy going, we'll never get into debt, and we'll peck away at our projects and our capital improvements. One of the ways we get to this conservative values is in 2003, we've had a long-range financial plan was done under Ed Morgan. And then in 2012, under Mayor Schwan, we had a financial committee put together of volunteer citizens, and they come up with a new financial plan. It's quite a plan. They put a lot of time and effort, 100 plus years of experience and financial background. We study that plan. Every year, I look at that.
Okay,
it's
Glenn.
time for budget.
Thank you. Les Peterson.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. It is the interest that all of you show in this town that makes it so special to all of us. I have a rather extensive background in marketing, and annual planning is one of the fortes of marketing, where you analyze, you identify problems, you analyze those problems, you develop solutions, you cost them out, and then you commit to those in a budget, and you live within the budget. After 30 years, I have become accustomed to living within a budget. The town, bless their hearts, has really gone one step further. They go through that same kind of a process, March through May of every year, and then what they do is they don't release the funds until those funds come in to fund each one of these projects. So it's a built-in process already in place. Thank you to the previous councils and their approach. I would intend to follow that. One other thing that I would add, flowing from this fiscal conservative, financially conservative background, and that is I do not believe in a property tax either, or bonds or anything else. We need to live within our budget and to spend as best we can on projects that benefit the entire town and the merchants. Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Melissa Price. The mayor's working hard here.
I add my thanks to everyone coming out tonight. I believe that our fiscal path forward, the onus is on every one of us as council members to make sure that we work as a team and review our profit and loss statement and balance sheet every month. For me, the basic, simple answer is if you don't have the money, you don't spend it. And that's how the town has been run, as these gentlemen have said tonight. That's why we have $5 million in the bank. I believe that we have to keep an eye on both the financial and the operational metrics, comparing where we are today with what we've done in the past. As the old saying goes, cash is king. And as Glenn has mentioned, the Long Range Financial Planning Committee has recommended that we keep 50% in reserves. Personally, I think that's high for a business, but what a great goal. Keeping an eye on total cost is my plan to keep us on a sound financial path. A financially well-run town would like to improve its cash position by seeing its sales tax revenues increase every month, which is why Carefree going forward, I believe in an economic development plan. And that is to satisfy two things that I think are most important to our citizens, which is no property tax and to maintain the charm of our town today.
Thank you, Melissa. Marty Salson.
Well, thank you all again. Can everyone hear me okay? I tend to talk loud anyhow. All right. Well, the first thing I would do is invest in a new sound system. That being said, listen, I agree with pretty much everything everyone else has said, so I don't really want to just go over it again, because it all makes perfect sense. So let me just give you some highlights of what I think you need to do. Key things are to remain flexible, and by that I mean things change as we go along. A decision you make one day, you learn some things new, and you change your mind and you go a different direction. You can't sit there being afraid of someone saying, well, you changed your mind. Well, yeah, that's what people do who think. The other thing is listening. What is the community saying? What does the community need? You may think that this is the greatest idea in the world. You go out there and you find out that everyone thinks you're an idiot. So you need to be listening to people to find out what they think. Willingness to be wrong about something. Some people get decision locked. They're so afraid that they're going to get accused of being stupid or being wrong that they make no decisions at all. Those are the worst decisions. Within reason, you need to be able to implement stuff and be willing to be wrong about it if you're wrong. You just make sure that the decisions you're wrong about aren't big ones. And as far as reserves go, I tend to agree that the key to this town's success is having a big reserve, and one of the reasons our reserve should be higher than most is since we don't have property taxes, we can't instantly tap in if we run short for some reason. So we need to keep a fatter reserve than most other towns do. And I'm guessing my minute is just about up.
Your minute is up. Perfect.